Ladies and gentlemen, we take great pleasure in presenting to you tonight.
Peace, yo, and welcome to Jazzmatazz, an experimental fusion of hip-hop and live jazz. I'm your host, the Guru. That stands for Gifted, Unlimited, Rhymes Universal. Now, I've always thought of doing something like this, but I didn't want to do it unless it was going to be done right, know what I'm saying? Because hip-hop, rap music, it's real. It's musical, cultural expression based on reality. And at the same time, jazz is real and based on reality. So I want to let you know that it was indeed a blessing and of course a pleasure to work on such a project with so many amazing people. For instance, I got Donald Byrd, Roy Ayers, Lonnie Liston Smith, Branford Marcellus, Ronnie Jordan, India Davenport, Courtney Pine, and MC Solar, all in the house. Plus I got Gary Barnacle, Carlene Anderson, DC Lee, Simon Law, and Zachary Bro doing much work. So without further delay, I say to you, listen and enjoy. And check it out.
songs of love, but not for me. A lucky stars above, but not for me. With love to lead the way, I've found more clouds of gray than any Russian play could guarantee. I was a fool to fall and get that way. Hi-ho, alas, and also lack a day. Although I can't dismiss the memory of her kiss, I guess she's not for I was a fool to fall and get that way. Hi-ho, alas, and also lack a day. Although I can't dismiss the memory of her kiss, I guess she's not for me.
this is what you've done. You experience everything as a part of you. When somebody experiences the whole universe as a part of himself, then we say he's a yogi. Charles Darwin said that you evolved out of a monkey. You are a monkey, then you became a man. Some of the genetic scientists are saying this, that the difference, the DNA difference between a chimpanzee and you is only 1.3%. So in that sense, physiologically, you're only 1.3% away from a chimpanzee. Not a big difference.
Pass the mic and let me motivate. Movements through the music, get your soul to shake. Hold on, wait, claiming you're the sickest, still ain't sold no tapes. I can tell you're rookie from you jump on stage to spitting and your vocals break. Today I woke up late, I was dreaming, scheming, trying to find some deeper meaning. Astral projecting, I'm beaming. Cause someone help me get down from the ceiling. Cause I'm floating, puff puff past, they know I'm talking potent. Keep my focus open. I'm in the kitchen cooking soul food. Same time I'm having sex over the surface, coops you so crude. Most of these got no clue, I got that special recipe. Bare necessity, they're bringing less than me. So be ready to draw your weapon, see. Cause I'm a veteran G. I write these bars using telepathy, leaving MCs in jeopardy. No one can second me. I'm moving to guys like Kazuya and Tekken 3. Please stop talking like that. Stop talking. Stop talking. Yeah, these man are jazzing while I'm on the beat spazzing. Got the magic touch, I'm guessing he hasn't. And her feet in the air trying to give with an orgasm. Out to open small chasms in this thing that should be winning beauty pageants. Imagination, coordination of my demonstration through this elevation of microphone exhalation. Got no expectation for this generation in this foolish nation. They're just trying to figure who's the coolest wasteman in this world of product placements and mass displacement. I just stay making bangers in the basement, keep the world adjacent. It's a scary place, where's Freddy and Jason? Feeling to smack them in the face, I'm aggravated and impatient. Terrorizing the terrorists and trying to fuck my therapist. Living in London till it's derelict or they bury it. Can find me on the ferry lit, smoking on some cherry shit. On my way to Amsterdam, the way I live is very sick. Yeah, stop talking like that. Stop talking.
Recording for Bruno Records.
jazzy, funky, pounce, bounce, dance as we dip in the melodic sea. Rhythm keeps flowing and drips to MC. Sweet sugar pop, rocks and pop. You don't stop till the sweet beat drops. I shall improve as I stick and move. Vivid poems recited on top of the groove. Smooth, mind, floating like a butterfly. Notes set afloat, sung like a lullaby. Brace yourself as the beat hits ya. Dip, trip, flip, fantasia.
What's that?
Bitty bitty bop.
Yeah.
Bitty bitty bop.
Funky, funky.
Feel the beat drop, jazz and hip hop, dripping in your dome, it's a zone and bop. Funk confusion, a fly illusion, keeps you coasting on the rhythm to cruising. Up, down, round and round, rhymes profound, but nevertheless you got to get down. Fantasy freak through the beat so unique, you move your feet and sweat from the heat. Back to the fact, I'm the Mac and I know that. The way I kick the rhyme, someone call me a poet. Poem steady flowing, growing, showing sights and sound. Caught in the groove, invitation I'm found. Many tripped the tour upon the rhymes they soared to an infinite height. To the rhyme for hardcore. Here we go, off I take ya. Dip trip, dip fantasia.
What's that?
ease your mind as we fly. Leave all the craziness for another day. Come on and fly above the atmosphere. Come on, get away and let's fly. Right now and break all the rules. Lose inhibition, baby. This ain't no time to be cool. Cause you need rescuing away from yourself. And if you need a little help, come on. Cause now is the time. There's no mistaking that beyond the clouds is ours for the taking. Just hold my hand. There's no point waiting. We'll disappear at the speed of light. We fly.
Then condo, if you got me stressed, kid, they call me on the phone, he's not home. Can I take a message? Dodging, dropped a $500,000 on my lodging. Sprint to sprint, went right upside my noggin. Think about robbing, maybe getting a job in Employee of the Year at Baskin Robbins. Living life, you know what costs to be in it. Some leave early, you just start, now you finish. Pay the